This is my first YouTube video. My name is Michael Hammer. I'm a photographer in southeastern Arizona, and I had a shoot last night at the local college where a lawyer, good friend of mine, was basically teaching seniors about their options for living wills and trusts and stuff. And I was asked by the college, since I'm a student, to provide photographic services. We had some students from the videography and cinematography classes come over as well. And what got me thinking about making this video, and why I should address this as the first video in my series, is because tripods. They had this awesome, huge, gargantuan, 8-legged monstrosity of a Manfrotto tripod that the school probably, I don't know, I haven't looked it up, but they probably paid like between $1,000 and $3,000 for this thing. And so it got me thinking, you don't have to spend a lot on your gear to get professional quality results. So what we're going to be examining today is two of my tripods that I have, and we're going to be discussing pricing, the things you look for in a quality tripod, and as far as performance versus weight versus durability. And then I'm going to show you how to break it down, explain some of the features and stuff that I like in my equipment. So first we're going to start off with this big guy. This is an Ambico. Let me see if that shows up. Model number is Victor 0550. The best I've been able to do on my internet research is this tripod was manufactured in the early 90s. This model specifically in 1991. It's probably a similar case with the slightly smaller one, a little bit lighter weight. So consequently it's going to be a little bit less sturdy. This is a Victor 0552, same company, Ambico. And I'm actually really happy with these. These are the tripods that I used on the shoot yesterday. I used two cameras, the one I'm videoing with right now, my Nikon D3200. Since I only have the kit lens so far for that, the 18-55 with vibration reduction, I brought my Sony A200, which is a little dated, but I have telephoto lenses up to 300 millimeters with that model. So that's what I was doing a lot of the telephoto stuff with. Due to the sensitive nature and identities involved, I was not permitted to have free range like I normally prefer. I'm going to try to get some crowd shots, crowd reactions to the speaker and stuff like that. They didn't want anybody else's faces, anyone else's face shown but the speaker, so it sort of limited me in what I could do. I also took with me some artificial lighting. I have a mobile kit set up, mainly featuring really old but still very usable and relevant Vivitar 285 flash heads. I prefer those because they have variable power switches on the back, so you don't have to, like if you're really poor like I was 20 years ago, playing around with film, your flash just flashed basically. If you wanted less flash, you had to move the flash back on a light stand, or you moved it closer if you wanted it more intense. So with the variable power, you're able to kind of play with the settings a little bit. Have a main light on half, have the fill on quarter or 16th. But let's get back to tripods. So I used these tripods, and this big boy here, the 550, is what I used for my base in the back of the room, about 20 meters away from the speaker. And this is what I used the A200 on with the telephoto lenses. It's very big, very sturdy. I don't know how much weight this thing can hold. I'm not going to hang from it like Locke did at the Manfrotto conference he attended, because I think I paid $12 for this tripod. I'm confident it can hold the weight of, you know, all of my equipment and possibly a decently heavy cinematography grade camcorder, but it will not hold my weight, and we're not going to discuss my weight. But we're going to do a breakdown of those later. Here's the little brother, the 552. This one will hold a lot less weight. It's certainly not going to hold, you know, a higher end cinematography camera, but if you're into some adventuring photography like I am, which one do you want to be carrying strapped to your backpack when you're hiking 3 or 4 miles up to a mountaintop? You're going to want the smaller, lighter one. Alright, so I'm going to start with that one first. Since I already got it set up, I'm going to break it down and set it back up for you. I hope everything is showing up in the frame, but if not, when I review the video, I will go ahead and shoot another sequence and clip it in. showing you the breakdown and the setup. So basically, you got your little crank handle right here. This allows you to reach. This tripod's fully extended, so it comes up about with my face. So if you imagine a camera on it, you're going to be pretty much eye level. I can't imagine shooting much higher than eye level in a stable with a stable platform like a tripod. So this between weight and sturdiness and height and capabilities, I think this is probably an ideal type tripod for someone starting out, not wanting to spend a lot of money. I think I spent $6 on this at a local thrift store sometime within the last 6 months, not really sure. It does have a plate. It's got an Ambico style plate. There's a little divot in the back that positively matches with the little throw lever. So that's not going to accidentally come off. It's not friction fit, it's actually mechanical, and so it will not come off. It's supposed to have a level. This one, the level's cracked. The spirit stuff leaked out. You got eyes, you're a human, you have inner ears, you're able to balance yourself. You can pretty much eyeball if something's level or not. It's not super important. There is a lock on the elevation, so if you're videotaping or something, it would be a little weird as your camera starts to slowly descend. And once you get everything set up, like say you're doing some astrophotography or some shooting at night or something, you want everything locked in so that you're not going to have drift and have to spend hours trying to match images together if you're doing a stack or something like that. The legs on this are the standard cheap tripod click locks. Pretty simple, pretty elementary. I've been owning tripods of the crappy and cheap variety for about 20 years. I've never had a click lock break. There's a little tensioner here for the center support. And this gives I like these type of tripods because this gives it a lot of stability. And you got cross pieces that you can wrap your camera bag strap around to give it some added weight and stability. And this also, when you're hiking and moving, it keeps the legs from flopping around all over. One thing I like about the Ambico tripods of this generation, you have little rubber feet for when you're on tile or carpet or a surface that could get a little slippery. When you're outside, you spin these down, you have spikes, which is good for dirt, rock, gravel, gives you a good firm purchase so your tripod isn't sliding around on crappy terrain. It's got the standard tilt lock, which I love. It's sort of a cinematography type thing, and you got your little crank handle and that folds down. So here is your little brother, the 552. This, if anyone's wondering, is a reflective bracelet. I got it for like $1 at a dollar store. After an unfortunate incident where I tripped over a tripod when I was working in 2007 and almost broke a then $1,000 camera because of low light conditions, I put little reflectors on all of my stands and equipment and stuff like that, so it doesn't happen to me and somebody doesn't break my stuff. All right, here's the big boy, the 550. Breakdown is almost identical. You got your little crank handle. You undo the stop, crank it down. The one difference between the 550 and the 552 is I believe this is mainly for cinematography. So this is just a handle. This has got a really nice greased pan head. The tilt is very smooth, if a little tight. I gotta loosen it a bit. There we go. And so sometimes I'll run it loose if I'm searching for that shot. And I usually run like this, or sometimes I'll prop my shoulder on it so I can move it around while I'm keeping focus and trying to get that perfect shot that I'm looking for. This does have a level. The level is functional. It's got the same features. It's got the center tensioner that helps with stability. This thing is a beast. When it's fully extended, it is over my head. I don't know what capabilities or situations I would use that in. There's my reflector. Same locks. Same rubber feet to spike feet. And like I said before, I spent $12 on this at a local thrift store. It's practically brand new. It did not come with a plate for the head, but I already had a few laying around from other Ambico tripods that I have, so that is not an issue. Something that does frustrate me is they are not universal between brands, and I think that's something the industry really needs to work on. I'm sick and tired of proprietary lenses, proprietary gear. You gotta buy that adapter to use this piece of equipment on another camera or flash, it's really kind of stupid, and it costs me money and it costs you money, and then we have to pass that on to the customer, and the customer doesn't like that. But here it is, folded down. It weighs literally twice as much as the other tripod. This is not something I would want to be hiking up into the mountains. Probably about 6 pounds. And 6 pounds doesn't sound like a lot, probably weighs about the same as a gallon of milk. But carry that gallon of milk for 5 miles up a mountain and then 5 miles back. That gallon of milk is probably going to get left about 200 yards off the trailhead, right? Okay, so there's this. The things I look for in a tripod, I'll use this one as the example, has to be strong, has to be sturdy. You can't have any slipping in the legs. So when you lock it, use a good amount of force. I'm a pretty strong guy. I probably had to put 50, 60 pounds of force to get that to slip even a millimeter. Very nice. Like I said, I would trust this up to 20, 25 pounds of equipment. Nothing really over that. But this would be, like I said, when I was shooting the event at the college last night, this is what I was using as my anchor, my mainstay. And I'd use this for videography. Right now I'm having to use a really crappy Japanese tripod and one of the legs is slipping. So if you see me and I'm constantly looking at the tripod, I'm trying to estimate when I should grab my camera before it hits the ground. So this is, I'll try to take some video or still of it and put it in later. This is the most questionable tripod that I own that my camera is sitting on right now, because my two favorites have to be in the video. Alright, I'm not really used to a fluid pan head like this, or simulated fluid. It's probably just full of like axle grease. But I love this tripod. I think it's well worth the $12 I spent on it. The other thing you want to check for, look for bends, look for anything uneven, crimps in the pipe, because on the lock type, it has to slide pretty freely. The twist locks, I don't really like them. I've had a lot of them come apart, so I'm sort of distrustful. I've walked on a lot of cheap tripods of even better quality just because of the twist locks. They're just hinky. I don't want to trust, this is my best camera. I didn't pay a whole lot for it, but I don't have the funds to replace it should it get damaged. So I have to have tripods and gear that I can rely on. So I think we're going to wrap this up. I might include some stills or maybe a quick clip here at the end, setting this bad boy up. If you're wondering about the plastic, I oftentimes leave plastic on equipment, like the little screen protectors on a tablet and stuff. I play guitar occasionally, and the one time I bought a new guitar, I left the plastic on the pick guard, and it was there for like 3 years before it finally wore off. It's just kind of a personal challenge, habit type thing. It doesn't have to stay on there. It doesn't do anything for the aesthetic quality. It doesn't protect it. It's just something I do. I'm weird. But this does not have the grease-filled pan head at all. This is for, temporary positioning of the camera. This is to lock it down once you find your positioning. This is your pan. It is not smooth. This is not suitable really for videography. It's kind of jerky. It depends on what you're wanting the tripod for. That could be a no-go, or it could be, I don't freaking care. But these are my two best, so I thought I'd give that video. There have been some recent threads on different Facebook groups and stuff that have been discussing this as well, which sort of gave me inspiration, so I just wanted to cover this issue and give you my 2 cents. So as always, if you like my videos, like, subscribe, vote it up, share it with your friends, put it on your page. Don't forget I also write books under the name Michael Hammer on Amazon. I'll try to have links in the bottom, and keep watching for future videos. Alright, the PS, as I promised, I'm going to give you a little look-see at the crappiest tripod that I own to kind of give you some perspective. You've seen some good ones, so here's a really crappy one. I don't even know why I bought this. I already had one of my Ambicos, and I got a different black one, some off-brand thing with the twist locks that I absolutely hate. But I think I bought this one because my first tripod ever, when I was starting out in photography in high school, sort of a similar model, made in Japan, much older, but it had the twist locks. It was made out of heavy pipe. It was a beast, even though it was still, this dimension, this small, and rather tough. And I had that for years and years and years, and I still don't know what happened to it. I know I didn't sell it. I think it just got lost amongst moves over the years when I sort of had to give up photography for a while and get a real job. But let's take a look at this. So you got your head, there's no lock. It's slightly adjustable, you know, just so you can get the center of gravity of the camera over the center post. But it's just, you gotta twist it on, twist it off. It's got the usual pan head stuff, it's got no flip head. You can compensate by doing that and putting your camera like that, so it's not a big deal. But all of the grease is like leaking out. The pan head part is just really rough. The legs, there's no center support on this at all. So it's really spindly. I don't like it that much as far as trusting it with any expensive equipment. And one of these legs just is shady, super shady. Like I can't get it to really tighten up. That's why I was worried about my camera, this camera, while I was shooting the rest of the video. It won't positively tighten or lock. I just can't get it to. So this, I would never take this anywhere. I wouldn't loan it to anybody. I sort of have it for sentimental reasons. But this is an example of something you would not buy if it was $1. I wouldn't trust this to hold, well, I would probably trust it to hold a point and shoot, because I have a waterproof point and shoot I'm going to be playing with, experimenting with. It weighs like 4 ounces. I spent like $5 on it, used at the thrift shop. I love thrift shops. So if it did fall over and break, I wouldn't cry. But this little piece of garbage, while lightweight and stuff, made entirely out of metal, it's not going to be worth the hassle and the trouble and the eventual equipment breakage and loss from trusting such a sketchy piece of equipment.